Hello and welcome to Brandon's Talkback. I'm your host, Brandon Delagraentiss. And while this is part three and the final edition of our Talkback on Racism 2020, the good news is I want to tell you just a little bit about myself. Ik ben opgegroeid in Houston, Texas. That's right. Grew up in Houston, Texas, to a father who was a pastor, among other things, and a mother who was a nurse. And I attended the Spring Woods Senior High School as a high school student, go Tigers, where I founded the Culture Club. It was the student organization that gave space for students from different cultures to get together and talk about our similarities and our differences. Now, when I left high school, I attended the University of Houston. University College there in my same city, where I was elected the president of the African American Studies Association. And even though we were learning about all things African American studies, I still made it a point to bridge the gap between our organization and the Mexican American Studies and the Asian American Studies organizations, because I truly believe that communication is key. Communication is key, regardless of the relationship, family, friends, partners. Communication is key. In part one of our talkback, we communicated the basics in regards to racism. Racism, defined as a concept based on the constructs that life is a race, a competition, and based on your skin color determines how you fare in the race. We also talked about the fact that racism was originally a financial decision, and the domino effect of that financial decision is still felt today all around the world, as evidenced by the wealth gap discretion. Now, one of the other things that we dealt with in part two is the fact that women, and specifically melanated women, really have a very unique relationship with racism, and one that really needs to be looked at in every place around the globe. Maar omdat ik nu al 12 jaar in Nederland woon, gingen wij het ook over Nederland hebben. En niet alleen maar verschillen tussen Nederland en Amerika, maar vooral de gemeenschappelijke dingen wat racisme betreft. So now here we are at part three. We've all made it through, in principe, 2020. What has been a confronting year for all of us in one way, shape, or form. All been confronted with whom, where, and how we live. And so I think it's just about time for some good news. Yep, even in the midst of the valley experience, the mountaintop is not far away. And so we've got some great news to share with you in this broadcast. And like with all great news, you want to share it with your family and friends. So first up, he is a bishop, a neuropsychoimmunologist, a television talk show producer, but most importantly, he's my father. The Bishop, Dr. Rachell Melanie Delagraentiss. Hi, Daddy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am supercalifragilisticexpialidociously blessed.
I know you are. I know you are. Listen, I want to bring in a fellow colleague of mine. Hij speelt nu Roger Davies in de musical Tina, de Tina Turner musical, and hij doet veel meer. But I have most respect for him for the man that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Terence.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're ready to get this party started.
I'm ready to get this party started. Let's go.
Glad to hear it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, she is an international recording artist with a new EP called Unspoken. New to Fender everywhere music is sold. Not only a recording artist, but also a graphic designer. But I am most impressed by her heart and her mind and her soul. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachell Melanie. Hoi Rachell.
Hi, hallo. Wat lief,
Ja,
dankjewel.
Ja, maar ik ben gewoon eerlijk hoor.
Thank you,
Het ziet
thank
er
you.
prachtig uit.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Leuk. And last but certainly not least, he is the man who is responsible for bringing me to Europe almost 14 years ago. I have so much respect for him, not only as my entertainment godfather, but everything he is still doing in this moment as an artist, producer, director. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only David A. Tobin!
Hey! I am yet standing on the promise.
Yes! Yet stand. Stand, David, stand.
I shall.
Welcome everyone. Welkom iedereen. Hoe gaat het met jullie? How are you doing?
Gaat goed?
Goed, dank je.
2020 overleefd, zou ik zeggen.
Ja, dat is het belangrijkste. Hè?
Ja.
But listen, we would be remiss if we did not take a moment to give opportunity to our fellow panel members, and we've got a special message from one of them right now.
Hi, Brandon. Hi, everybody. Sabine here from Amsterdam. I am so sorry that I couldn't be with you live today. I just wanted to say that I think 2020 has been a challenging year for pretty much everybody. People having to work from home, switch jobs, lose jobs, maybe even lose people, and that's horrible. I think 2020 has been, well, probably the most challenging year that I have seen in my lifetime here. However, I do think 2020 has given us also an opportunity. I notice people who are working from home now have more time with their families, and without their busy lives running around from sports club to work, they realize that time spent with families are important and also nice. And people have had more opportunity to see problems in the world, to see climate change happening, and to also see outside their own small and little world, which is always so busy. Now we've got more space to see the problems with racism going on that we have been discussing the past 2 episodes. And I do think that is a wonderful thing about 2020. And I do hope entering 2021, returning to our normal lives, busy lives, that some of that stays with us and that it grows slowly, because I do think we can eventually reach a beautiful world together. I want to wish you all the best, or as we say in Holland, de beste wensen for 2021, and see you later.
Dank je, Sabine. Heel erg bedankt. Leuk om je weer te zien. So, listen, Sabine mentioned something actually quite interesting. She talked about lessons learned. And so I want to ask you panelists, if there was one lesson that you could say that you learned this year, what would that lesson be? Rachell, I'll start with you.
Ja, ik denk dat 2020 vooral een bevestiging was van het feit dat je moet focussen op de dingen die je wel kunt doen. Want heel veel kon ineens niet meer.
Klopt.
En misschien heel veel dingen die je zelf heel erg leuk vindt om te doen, of waarvan je genoodzaakt bent om die te doen.
Ja.
Maar er waren gelukkig nog dingen die je wel kon doen, of die je kon leren. Dus je kon nieuwe dingen opzoeken online, of waar je zelf gewoon interesse voor had, maar geen tijd voor maakte. Daar had je nu meer tijd voor. Dus er waren gelukkig nog possibilities. En die zijn er eigenlijk altijd. Maar daar moet je wel voor openstaan.
Ja, maar dat is heel wijs en heel goed gezegd. Terence, wat heb je in 2020 geleerd?
Nou, ik vind wat Rachell eigenlijk zegt heel erg kloppend voor mij ook. Dat je de vrijheid behoudt in je eigen geest om de dingen toch te kunnen doen die je nog kan doen, zeg maar. En ik denk dat heeft mij ook wel heel erg, heb ik ook wel heel erg geleerd in deze tijd.
Oké,
Dus
I like it.
sluit ik me heel erg aan.
Very wise. So very wise.
Thank you. I'm learning. I'm still learning. It's getting there.
David, let me let you get in on this question. What have you learned this year? If there was one thing you had to say you learned, what would it be?
How fragile the world is. That things are just so fragile, so always teetering on the edge of whatever it is, whether I see it or whether I don't see it. Mm-hmm. It's a fragile world we live in. And then you have to look at how fragile is my life, my existence in this thing called life. I mean, I've always known it, but it's become just so abundantly clear in this last year that it's a fragile time, and it's even, I think it's going to be a fragile time going on, and we have to really recognize that and do what we can to enjoy the time we have, because time is short.
I completely and totally agree, completely in that way. Dr. Delagraentiss, Daddy, please enlighten us. What have you, of all people, learned this year?
I have learned that the notion, the edict, that there are only two types of people: those who create problems and those who solve them. And numerically, that is not divided 50-50. There are the 3%ers, and then there are the 97%. And the 3%ers are delineated by those who can make a concrete, absolute decision about whatever is going on in life. And you're going to talk about it in a little bit, but those 3%ers know how to take lemons and make lemonades. They can get over, they become survivors from anything from cancer to COVID-19 by their choice. They decide, I will not be deterred. I will not give up. I will not give out. I will not give in. And with that attitude and that energy, they always win.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of lemons, I've got a little video you've got to see.
Finally, made in America, made in your kitchen, sold in the front yard. The 11-year-old and her pitch. In Austin, Texas tonight, 11-year-old Michaela Ulmer hard at work.
I can do something really big in this world.
It all started in kindergarten when Michaela got stung by 2 bees in 1 week. She started studying them, realizing they're not so bad after all. They're a valuable part of our ecosystem, and pesticides are killing many of the bees off.
Our bigger mission is to educate families about learning how to save the bees.
Her own plan? To use honey from the bees instead of the sugar in her great-grandmother Helen's lemonade recipe, turning to Shark Tank and the sharks for help.
Hello, Sharks. My name is Michaela Ulmer. I'm the owner of Bee Sweet Lemonade, and today I'm here to ask for $60,000 for 10% equity in my company. When was the last time you tried something so good and refreshing and wondered, could this be good for me?
Shark Damon John offering her the $60,000, but for 25% of the company.
It's a deal.
Yeah. Tonight, business booming. Michaela working from her home office.
What's the update on finance?
Mom, Dad, the whole family, striking a deal with Whole Foods, now sold in dozens of stores across 4 states, even getting attention from the White House. A sweet idea made in America. We love her. Sweet deal. I'm David Muir. I hope to see you right back here tomorrow.
I love it too. I love it too. But it begs the question, how do you turn lemons into lemonade? So I want to ask that question to you. How do you turn lemons into lemonade? Well, don't all speak at once. Or do y'all prefer sweet tea?
I'll start. I think for me, life has its lemonades, but it's just an opportunity to overcome and to keep going and to listen. You learn more from failure than you learn from success.
Okay.
That's everything's a line from a song for me, and that's really, really true. You can be successful, but you don't learn anything until you fail. And I think it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I mean, to your point, while I cannot say that I actually enjoy failing, what I will never forget, jaren geleden deed ik mee met The Voice of Holland. En voor de mensen die geen ervaring hebben met televisie, is een hele proces wat gebeurt achter de scherm. So if you are a part of a television show, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. And for me, I found it a lot specifically when I exited the show. And so my father being a psychotherapist, one of the things he was always clear about is even a psychotherapist can appreciate a psychotherapist. And so after privately dealing with all of the stresses, I went and saw someone. And one of the main things she said to me was, but what if you don't feel like getting out of bed? What's the worst that can happen? I said, well, then things won't get done. She said, and what happens if things don't get done? I said, yeah, well, then I don't know. And she said, exactly, just let it go. Sometimes you just have to let it go and allow yourself to be, as you described, the failure, whatever it is you are in that moment. It's okay. Wat ik zei, weet je, dit jaar hebben we allemaal iets meegemaakt. Misschien op een andere manier, of misschien kwam het heftig aan bij sommige mensen dan anderen, but we have all experienced something this year. And while there are some things to hold on to, there are also some things to let go of. Anybody else want to get in on this question? Turning lemons into lemonade. Yeah, let's show.
Ja, ik denk dat het vooral belangrijk is in dat soort situaties die je zojuist hebt omschreven, dat je je afvraagt van waarom overkomt mij dit? Wat moet ik hiervan leren? In plaats van dat je blijft zitten met het gevoel dat je een victim bent van een situatie. Dat je afvraagt, oké, wat kan ik hiermee doen? Ja. En hoe kan ik in het vervolg andere keuzes maken? Ik denk dat die reflectie helpt om je in een betere positie te zetten.
Mee eens, helemaal mee eens. Dr. Delagraentiss, Daddy, I want to ask you something we did not rehearse because many know you as the motivator of all motivators. But I think what few people recognize are some of the challenges that you have faced in your young life that motivated you to work above those challenges. Can you share just a little bit about those?
Sure, gladly. Dankjewel.
You better speak that Dutch. that was one challenge right there. No, but talk about it on the real tip.
Yeah, it would begin in childhood for me when I stuttered a lot, and there were people who. My grades were always A and A plus in school, by the way, honor student, etc. But to speak out, particularly in public, was a no-no. And so there were people in my family, older people, who would tell silently, quietly to my mother, you know, now that one, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't think he's going to, you're going to have to keep him close by.
Wow.
And my mother would share that and then give the antithesis to that. And so she was real clear. Your attitude about anything determines your altitude about everything. And that became one of my credos. And that followed through to, I remember clearly at 13, I said, I'm going to be on The Price is Right. And I'm going to be on television and do my own show. And my own best friends, about 7 of them looked at me like I had dropped the turd. And they literally said, oh, that's wrong place, huh? And so they said, yo, you don't know anybody on television. Nobody that we know has been on television. But I was 13. At 18, I was in college at 16. At 18, I went out to Los Angeles and I got on The Price is Right. And then I was on Wheel of Fortune, which wasn't in my plan, by the way, but my energy was flowing. And people to this day still talk about, I remember you when you were on The Price is Right. I don't smile at that because they didn't believe me when I said it, so I don't accept mess now, you know. So it's the 3%ers, and I'm convinced, who know how to make the choice of no matter what's going on in life. You have the ability, simply open up your third eye, because there you can see more than you will ever see with the 2 exterior eyes. So I'm locked in. It's all about choice. Energy is everywhere and in everything, but energy will respond to whatever you demand of it. Life is like that. Whatever you demand of life, whatever you decree and declare of life, it freely gives you, and it's surprising how much it will give you.
I'm sorry, I got to take a moment. I got to take a say loud moment right now.
Bless you, bless
Yes.
And I wonder, can people always make the choice to change? And that is a video I want you to take a look at right now.
My name is Michael Kent. I'm over here at Fallen Heroes to get a swastika covered up. I've never been inside of a tattoo shop getting a professional tattoo. It's a lot different than the prison style. One, it's not done with guitar strings.
It's painful to get it off.
Yes, but it's going to be worth it.
Tell me your story. Behind that shirt is a lot of ink.
I was a part of a skinhead group, a very violent group. My first tattoo, the Rachell tattoo, was my white pride when I got 2 swastikas, one on my chest.
How long have you had that on your chest?
Over 20 years.
Talk about that transformation process.
This is kind of a good story, but odd story. I got my caseload transferred to a black woman. She just marched up to my house. If it wasn't for her, I probably would have been deep back into it.
You feel like she became much more than a probation officer?
Yes, she's much more than that. I would look at her as family.
I'm Tiffany Whittier. I haven't seen him in over a year. He doesn't know that I'm here. We're gonna surprise him. Say hello. Hi, Michael. Ooh.
She gave me a chance and it opened my eyes.
You two are unlikely friends.
Yes. Yes. I had a German war flag. She says, you need to take that crap down and start putting up more positive stuff. Put up smiley faces. So when you wake up, you see positive instead of hate.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
When you wake up and you see a smiley face, you're gonna go to work and you're gonna smile. Before all this, I wouldn't work for anybody or with anybody that wasn't white. 13 people that work with me, I'm the only white person there. We have company parties, or they have quinceañeras, or barbecues, or birthday parties. I'm the only white guy there.
Last night we were with him as he got a tattoo taken off. He said, Tiffany was one of the people that helped me make this transition.
I'm not here to judge him. That's not my job to judge. My job is to be that positive person in someone's life, try to make a difference.
I'm getting choked up again. If you got a strong support system and you have people that believe in you in a positive way, you can change.
Oh, wow. I can't even see it, Michael.
You're touching before and after now.
Did you ever think they'd come off and that you'd be a part of that?
Not in a million years. I would have ever guessed that Michael changed his life for the better.
She gave me the strength and the courage to do what I'm doing and changing my life because I know it. She can do it and she believes in people, good in people. I know I can too.
I love that, Michael. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that makes me ask the question, can people really change? Now, Dr. Delagraentiss talked about how, but again, the question still remains, can people really change? What do you think, Terence? Is het mogelijk?
Als mensen, ja, ik denk het wel. Ik denk het, ja, nou ja, ja. Ja.
Weet je zeker?
Ik weet het zeker. Ik weet het zeker. Nou, als je het nooit geleerd krijgt, als je dingen niet aangeleerd krijgt, dan weet je het gewoon niet. En je gaat je eigen ogen openen door middel van met meerdere mensen te spreken over de hele wereld. En zo hoop ik dat we elkaar gewoon allemaal gaan helpen. En dan kan je leren, denk ik. Als we dingen samen gaan doen en dat het over samen gaat en over ons allemaal. En niet, als we niet blijven bekijken naar ons eigen kleine wereldje, maar gaan verder willen kijken, dan kunnen we leren en dan kunnen we veranderen, denk ik.
Ja, ga maar. Oh, I thought I heard you, Rachell. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was waiting.
Nee, oké. Nee, ik ben helemaal mee eens, Terence. Ik ben helemaal mee eens. Je maakt me denken aan mezelf. Toen ik 17 was, volgens mij was ik 17, heb ik zelfmoord probeerd te plegen. En het was natuurlijk niet gelukt. Maar ik had alles eraan gedaan om te zorgen dat het wel gelukt was. Ik had zoveel pillen mogelijk geslikt. Ik had mijn briefje al geschreven. Ik heb mijn kamer netjes gemaakt. Ik had alles gedaan om te zorgen dat ik weg kon. En toen lag ik op mijn bed, gewoon klaar om weg te gaan. En 1,5 uur later werd ik wakker. En ik had geen pijn. En ik was niet eens slaperig. En toen pas had ik het door van... Ja, ik ben hier niet per ongeluk.
Mm-hmm.
Ik ben hier met een reden, met een doel, met een purpose. And from that moment, I started making a point to enjoy each and every single moment of my life. Moments that I was supposed to enjoy, and also moments that would make no sense to enjoy. But I made a point to do so because I was here on purpose and not by accident. And one of the other things that I started to do was something that I had actually read in one of my father's books, and that was to look at myself in the mirror and talk to myself and say to myself the things I wanted other people to say to me. Now, at that time, I thought I was the shortest thing in the world. I thought my nose was the widest, biggest in the universe.
It's not.
I thought that my teeth were as crooked as 2 left shoes. And so one of the first things I started to say to myself was, you have a beautiful smile. And when I first started saying it to myself, it felt really weird because I didn't feel like that was true. But I made a point to make it a habit. And it became such a habit that every time I passed a mirror, I had to say something positive to myself. And I will never forget the day, the very first time, volgens mij was het 2 weken later, that someone complimented me on my smile. Ik schrok because I thought they had overheard me speaking to myself in my own self mirror. It took me a moment to recognize that this was someone reflecting to me what I had started to grow on the inside of me, what I had started to change on the inside of me. So I know that if it is possible for me, it is possible for everyone to change whatever it is that you want to change in a good way. Yes, Rachell, please, go ahead.
Wat ik daar nog aan toe wil voegen, supermooi verhaal trouwens. Gelukkig ben je daaruit gekomen en heb je een manier gevonden voor jezelf om je beter te voelen en je waarde te erkennen. Maar wat ik wel belangrijk vind om nog toe te voegen is dat het echt begint bij de persoon zelf. Natuurlijk is die combinatie van waar je mee in aanraking komt, de mensen die je spreekt enzovoort, dat heel belangrijk is. Maar echt willen veranderen, ook wanneer niemand kijkt.
Ja.
En wanneer niemand je hoort, dat begint echt bij jezelf. Want anders hou je het niet vol en is het een soort façade en dat werkt gewoon niet. Dus het moet echt bij je eigen welwillendheid beginnen om te willen veranderen in anything dat je wil veranderen.
Ik ben het helemaal mee eens. And from one melanin queen to another. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sandra St. Victor.
Hey y'all, it's Sandra St. Victor. 2020 is almost over, so happy almost New Year. It was the longest year, 30,000 approximately months. But we did something. We did a thing. We got rid of orange folius. That does not mean the game is over, that the fight is not over. Once Biden is there, we must press and continually press for our progressive values. The arc of justice, we know, bends slowly, but it does bend. But we're not at the curve yet. So let's keep it moving. Y'all know I love you. We got to fight. We're going to do this together. We got it. Peace.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. And you know we love you. We know we love you. Listen, she talked about fighting, but I also want to talk about kindness. And the question becomes, can random acts of kindness change the world? Now, before we go to this next video, let me challenge you. On January the 1st, for the first 12 days of 2021, I am challenging you to the Have a Nice Day challenge. It's 12 days of random acts of kindness. Every single day, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, through the 12th, I'm going to be doing a random act of kindness, and I challenge you to start 2021 doing the same. But take a look at this video and see if you can be inspired.
Hey, you're a mom or an aunt in the stands watching a high school football game with your kid or nephew. Suddenly, you look up and see a stranger comforting that child. What do? Well, This happened to a young boy's aunt named Star in Georgia. And this is what she wrote about it on Facebook. I don't know who this lady is, but if you know her, tell her she's awesome. Isaiah walked up to this lady at our last home game 2 weeks ago. He sat on her lap and they were talking like they knew each other. It lasted no more than 20 minutes. However, she left right after halftime to meet up with her little girl. Fast forward to tonight. Not long after we sat down at the game, Isaiah spotted her. She waved at him and he made his way up to her. I thought their interaction would be the same as last time, but I was wrong. Isaiah walked right up to her smiling, crawled in her lap, and laid his head down on her shoulder. She welcomed him with open arms. This lady patted and rocked Isaiah to sleep like she had given birth to him. It was the sweetest. We asked her if she wanted us to get him, but she kept telling us she and he were fine. Isaiah and this lady has never met before other than those 20 minutes at a game 2 weeks ago. I told her tonight that I am so sorry and I don't know why he keeps bothering her. She replied he's no bother and to not say that again. She said this was her new friend. She then went on to say she has only one child, who is 15, and moments like this are priceless. With all the racial tension that's going on, I'm glad to see the pictures like these, because it goes to show color doesn't matter to a lot of people. It really doesn't. Arguing over stuff as such makes us miss the simple pleasures in life. I hate that I didn't get her name, but I will next game because I'm sure Isaiah will make his way back to her. I love her, and I don't know her. Star actually did find out the woman's name. It was Angela. And she said, "It's awesome how God connects people together for whatever reason."
Angela, thank you so much for giving that little boy that hug and for inspiring us around the world to continue that concept of random acts of kindness. The question on the table is, can random acts of kindness change the world? David, I want to come to you and ask you, is there anyone in your life, maybe not related, who had a positive impact on your life, even though they weren't blood family?
I have had pathetic random acts of kindness that weren't that random, I guess.
Gotcha.
but that worked itself out. I'm going to tell you about one more.
Okay.
There's this guy that I know still. And he mentioned my name to somebody to direct the show. And he didn't have to do that. And he gave an opportunity to me that he didn't have to do that. He mentioned my name to somebody else. They got in touch with me and they called. We had meetings and back and forth. And it's a random act of kindness that shaped so much of my life here in Europe, and that's Brandon. You know, he did it for whatever reason he did, but it was random that I didn't know he was going to say that. I didn't know, and all the other stuff that has come from it. So I'm extremely grateful for those random acts, but I don't know if they're random. I think sometimes they're predestined for me or for a lot of people, and I thank you for that.
Right.
And I remember.
Thank you.
Het is zo mooi dat je nooit precies weet waar het toe leidt. Maar als het uit een goed hart komt, met de juiste intentie, dan leidt het tot mooie dingen.
Ik denk dat dat het belangrijkste is. Weet je, ik denk dat we allemaal een leiding kan krijgen om iets te doen of te zeggen. En we kunnen ook twijfelen daarover van, yeah, but I don't know them, or they don't know me, or how is somebody going to respond if I say this nice thing or do this nice thing?
Yeah.
But what I am living is that when I am spontaneously obedient to that voice on the inside and do and say, make that choice, it always works out for the best.
You talked about, can people really change?
Yes.
And this experience of doing on this platform, it definitely has changed some things about me or how I thought about some things. I'm sure it's changed Terence for sure.
I've learned a lot.
See? But what I wanted to say is that, like I said, everything's in a song. Years and years ago, and Dr. Delagraentiss, he'll remember this because the rest of y'all too young. And the song used to come on and say, Tremaine is coming at this time. And the song was a change.
Yeah.
You know, and the song about change. And it says, what a wonderful change
has come over me.
But this is the thing about that was inspired for that. I want to say this, and this is where I come from, is that if you look at that book called the Bible, there is nobody who starts off the same way they finish.
Well, that's the message.
It's about, this whole walk is about change.
Hey.
This whole situation that we're in about change. This is. And with that, we can go on into 2021, 2022, whatever, because it's going to change.
Yeah, no choice but to change.
We have no choice but to say that. That's right.
But that's
no choice.
That's the thing, Daddy. I see you leaning forward.
I see it too. I saw it, right?
Say it.
This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I sense spiritually that we are blessing the cosmos with what we're doing, what we're presenting right now. And everybody's been right on point. Even on the B-rolls, everybody's been right on point. Everything changes, and then it becomes our choice to choose which of the changes we're going to employ. My other son, David, I owe you a spanking because you've been pretending like you're not that brilliant person. You're the beautiful one. But that gray matter is working, man. I'm telling you. Look at you. I'm proud of all of you, but especially my two sons.
Now, speaking of parents, the question on the table now are parents responsible for their children's success? I spoke about how my father spoke to me prenatally in the womb, prophesying that I would speak different and sundry languages long before I had ever gone to the library to research other countries, long before I had taken a flight to Germany and even moved. He prophesied to me prenatally in the womb, and that was ensuring my success. But the question still remains, are parents ultimately responsible? Take a look at this video and let me know what you think.
Are you into rocketry?
I started with water propulsion, worked my way up to solid fuel, then went back to water after I set our garage on fire.
Nice.
I also tried to get some uranium and build an atomic engine, but that stuff's hard to find.
Probably for the best.
Good luck on your...
Millions of Americans know characters like young Sheldon as super smart prodigies on television. Well, this morning you're going to meet the real deal, and we're going to put him on television. That's Caleb Anderson. He's a kid genius who is not yet a teenager, but is already cruising through college courses and is set to go to a very prestigious university. As Mark Strassman shows us, before he could even walk, Caleb could astound people around him.
Which smart kids apply every year to Georgia Tech, but no one like Caleb Anderson. He's 12.
I'm not really smart, I just grasp information quickly. So if I learn quicker, then I can get ahead faster.
This elite engineering school fell over itself recruiting him.
Plug it in here.
Caleb saw the labs. He met the school's president.
I have heard so much about you. Welcome to Georgia Tech.
Thank you. He's a perfect candidate to come into our program and be very successful.
Is his admission guaranteed?
I would expect that he would be admitted for sure.
Admitted to study aerospace engineering. Claire and Kobe Anderson, Caleb's parents.
What's it like to be touring a college when your kid is 12?
I don't think anything that Caleb's done has been normal for us.
By age 1, he was reading.
Caleb. This. Fun.
At 2, he knew sign language and how to do fractions.
1, 2, 3.
I have this distinct memory of going to the first grade class and learning there, everyone was way taller than me. Because, you know, I was 2. I could barely walk.
Middle school was awful. It always is.
The kids there, they kind of looked down on me, or they treated me like I was an anomaly. And, which I kind of am.
He's taken college courses for a year. His parents now want a university that's the right fit for a tween genius.
We want him to be in an environment where he's accepted and not tolerated.
If he comes to Georgia Tech, he's not rushing a fraternity.
No.
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 Not at all. We're definitely protecting him.
Make sure that when he is an adult, that he'll make a great husband or great father, a great friend one day.
Lots of people think they're the smartest person in the room. Caleb really is.
Does it ever occur to you, you know what, I'm looking at college and I'm 12 years old.
This is my life. This is how I am. And I've been living this way my whole life.
He accepts that he's different, definitely smart.
What is it?
For CBS This Morning, Mark Strassman, Atlanta.
Ja, go ahead, Rachell. Go ahead.
Ja, ik wil graag nog iets toevoegen, omdat we het woord succes gebruiken, toch? En ik ben wel benieuwd naar de definitie van succes. Want wat ik vooral voor deze generatie belangrijk vind aan succes, en wat ouders toevoegen aan de basis van een kind, is om te zijn en om een safe haven te hebben in huis, bij de ouders. Dat je vrij bent om keuzes te maken, maar dat er altijd een soort van vangnet is. Dat je gezien wordt, werkelijk. Je hart wordt gezien. Dat je de ruimte hebt om je te ontwikkelen. En safe haven vind ik heel belangrijk voor deze generatie. Want ik heb het idee dat mensen op zoek zijn nu naar een soort van oplossingen voor problemen die ze nog niet eens erkennen, zeg maar. Dus een safe haven vind ik vooral belangrijk als succes voor een ouder. Yeah.
Nee, but I like that because safe haven, dat is iets wat te begrijpen is in beide talen. In het Engels en ook in het Nederlands. Safe haven is something, that safety net, that safe space. That Psalm 91 verse 1 talks about that secret place, if you will. That is something that I believe every parent is responsible for, actually, for giving their child. And so I've got a very unique question for you, Daddy. What is one thing you can say that you learned from your parents that has contributed to your success?
My takeaway from my parents, and including my father and grandparents, is the fact that energy is everything and everything is energy.
Gotcha.
They went on to say, nothing, no idea, no thought, no deed, no event, all of it is neutral until you put a label on it.
Okay.
And they included the fact that at that time, there were people who thought they were supremacists, and they used the N-word on regular. And when I asked my parents, my dad said, "And what did you say?" And I said nothing. I just walked away. He applauded me. He said, wait, come back. Why did you walk away, not say anything? I said, because they weren't talking to me. I know who I am. And that was age 4, and I did not wait ever since. Thank you very much.
I love it.
I passed that on to my children as well.
For sure. One of the other things that we learn as children, bewust of onbewust, from onze ouders, is about health. And so my next question and last question for this final talkback is, does health translate to happiness? Take a look at this video and let me know what you think.
My name is Donna Ann Cosme. My age is 51. I really do believe that age is a myth and beauty is a state of mind. Honestly, because I live from the inside out, that is my beauty routine. I wear no makeup. It's just a personal choice. There's too much life to live, so I like to keep it simple.
I am Josephine Rolike Robinson Floyd, and I am 81 years of age. I do my exercise. If I don't do it every day, I do it every other day. I like to be positive.
Hi, my name is Fatima Mohammed, and I am 42 years old. I was born vegan and raised eating very healthy, and I live a very active life. Do yoga, ballet, belly dance. Try to stay as active as possible, yeah.
My name is Annabelle, and I'm 94 years of age. Yes, I am still working as a receptionist 4 days a week.
My name is Crystal Baxter. I'm 70 at the moment. Sense of humor is the most important thing. It keeps you youthful. I laugh a lot. I laugh as much as possible. It really helps.
My name is Wendy Ida, and I'm 60 years old, and having a good time. In terms of great skin, one of my favorite things, you have to do the inside and the outside of your body. So for the inside, I always start first thing out of bed with drinking 2 glasses of water.
Cleota Proctor Wilbekin, age 82. I try to rest and enjoy myself every day. I maintain my vitality and my mental stability by reading, by being active, by travel.
My name is Marilyn Artis Rimmer, and I'm 54 years young. You know, to me, my grandmother told me one day that being pretty can be a handicap if you don't know how to use it. For the first time in my life, I'm showcasing me, and it's always never been about me. It's always been about my family. But I feel good about it because now I'm 50. And at 50, you know what you want, you know how you want it, and you know where to go get it.
Live a vital life, get in touch with your heart. When we get in touch with our heart, amazing things start to happen, and it bypasses all of the circuitry of the linear brain, the analytical brain, that talks about age as a limitation, or race as a limitation, or sexuality, sex as a limitation. It just eliminates all of that because the heart only knows love.
I use an exfoliation. I stay out of the sun, very basic, put on sunscreen, and when I do wash my face, I always pat it down at the end with some ice or some cold water. It helps to close the pores.
And when I go to work out, I put makeup on, perfume, and I got all kind of good looking workout clothes. And they think I'm younger than I am. I think that's funny. It's a state of mind.
I do everything in moderation. You know, I eat a little bit of everything, but everything in moderation. Be careful what you take in. Now, I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about the people in your life. You know, be careful. And I don't do drama. I don't allow drama around me. And it's very important what you take in. And that affects your inner strength, and that affects your beauty.
Yes, Queens. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, listen, the question on the table has been, does health contribute to your happiness? But I'm curious, Terence, what makes you happy?
Oh, ja, wat mij vrolijk maakt en waar ik echt gelukkig van word, is gewoon eigenlijk waar we nu mee bezig zijn ook. Deze talkback. Ik ben veel stil geweest, ik ben veel aan het luisteren en ik denk dat doet mij heel goed. Dat ik naar zulke wijze mensen als jullie mag luisteren. Dat ik daarvan mag leren. Dat maakt mij gelukkig. En dat ik die wijze lessen die ik hoor, dat ik die misschien weer door kan geven aan andere mensen. Zodat we elkaar steeds helpen en bouwen aan een gezamenlijke, fijne toekomst.
I love that, Terence. Thank you. Thank you. David, what makes you happy? What makes you happy? What makes you smile? What makes you glad?
I come from a family that health has been questionable in our family. That, you know, my mom just recently passed away now 2 years ago. And she was 92.
Okay.
And she had a message. The message is take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and my mom was a hard-working woman who I always say they don't even make women like that no more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that mold was broken. And in her latter years, she realized that in her hard work, sometimes she didn't take the time for herself.
Gotcha.
And she said to her kids, no, take your vacations, go to the gym, go get a massage, go get a facial, go and treat yourself well. Because, you know, your body, you have to treat yourself well. What makes me happy is all the opportunity that is continually presented to me. Every day there's an opportunity to do something that I didn't do before, something I didn't hear before, a word I didn't learn before. I'm just glad about the opportunity that I have every day. And as far as the social distancing thing, I've been social distancing for 20 years.
So that makes you happy.
This whole thing that people say, I can't let negative energy into my space. It's rotten. It does bad things. You have to the health and happiness. Yes, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
I love it. I love it. Rachell, alsjeblieft. Wat makes you happy?
Wat ik het fijnst vind en het mooist vind aan dit jaar is dat ik ondanks alles, ik ben mijn job bijvoorbeeld verloren. Ik heb tot 1 oktober bij een job gewerkt. Dat is gestopt. Maar dat ik me nog steeds goed voel. Mentaal voel ik me nog steeds sterk. Ik voel me nog steeds goed, ondanks alles. En dat betekent gewoon dat ik dit jaar aan kan. En dat wat er gaat komen beter is dan wat ik heb gehad.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Doctor, what makes you happy?
Boy, that's good. You've got all the great questions. Having a right relationship with my Heavenly Father, Abba Father, is number one.
I love it.
Having a beautiful, wonderfully blessed relationship with my children, it's number two. And then I'm going to go with having a vision. And I thrive off of vision. Every day I wake up and there's an addendum to the vision. I'm thinking, thank you, Heavenly Father. Because the vision has never failed. I can say it this way. Sometimes we dream things that never come to pass. But I've never seen a vision fail to come to pass.
Okay. Now that's deep. We should take a moment to let that sink in.
No. I want him to say it again. Say it again.
For the people in the back.
Yeah. Say it again. Please say it again.
Yeah, okay. Because not only are there pipe dreams, but other real dreams are not always fruitful because they depend on timing and effort from you. But visions don't emulate from you. They come from your Heavenly Father and they go out to the cosmos and they literally are for any and everybody. So you got to go into receivership yourself. Otherwise, you'll be saying, I had that idea and now somebody else got it and they're running with it because you didn't go into receivership.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I receive it. I receive it. And I have to say that what makes me happy is all of the above, all of the things that you have mentioned and everything that we have discussed and shared and bared today, they make me extremely happy. I am so thankful and grateful. To say and use those words feels even like an understatement. It feels as if I'm talking baby talk, as if my sesquipedalian vocabulary is not enough to adequately communicate how I really feel. But suffice it to say that my heart is running over with the good news that we've been blessed to share today. And I want to thank each and every single one of you. Terence, heel erg bedankt. Rachell, wat een mooie toevoeging ben jij aan de Talkback. David, once, now, and forever. Thank you. And Daddy, you know I love you. En lest I forget, our technical director, hij is niet te zien, maar Sherman Martina heet hij. En Sherman, ik wil je ook bedanken. I want to thank all of you for watching all of our talkbacks. Thank you so much for sharing with us through the links that are in the description. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy. And again, I challenge you as we go into the new year, quote, random acts of kindness. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice year. Don't kill him out.
I want to say, I need to say, I got to say, thank you. Want to say, need to say, got to say, thank you. Want to say, need to say, got to say, thank you. I want to say. I need to say, I got to say, for all you've done for me, for all you've done for me, for setting my soul free, for setting my soul free. You gave new life to me. You gave new life to me. Now I'm free.
Thank you very much. Fijne avond. Thank you.
Leuk.